Hey, so a while ago I did a video with you where I spoke about the importance of saying no. Well, today I want to talk to you about exactly the opposite thing. Why sometimes you should say yes when it makes no sense at all. I started Missing Link 21 odd years ago. I've been a public speaker for 15 years. I've spoken, I don't know, like a crap ton of cities all around the world. And yet still sometimes I get this email and it'll be, hey, we'd really like you to come and speak at our event, things like this. And normally people would say, please let us know your availability and your rate. But these ones just say, we want you to do it. And you know they don't want to pay. So I'll mail back and I'll say, hey, no problem at all, the date works, this is the fee. And then there's this mail back and they're like, oh, sorry, we not paying you. I said, what do you mean you're not paying? He said, well, we're just not gonna, we don't pay speakers. I said, well, why not? He said, well, we hope that you'll do it for exposure. Now, this is quite a common thing, and exposure, the problem with exposure is that I actually can't go home and feed my children exposure. I can't go to my kids' schools and say, hey, listen, I can't pay you money right now, but here's some exposure. You know, will this cover the first 2 terms? Nobody's interested in that. We say no to things, and there's quite a common narrative about don't say yes to freebies, you know, for exposure, all these things. And I think that there's times when that's true, and I certainly don't think you should say yes to everything. But I think you must be careful about throwing the baby out with the bathwater there. Because the truth of the matter is, even if you're very good at your job, right? Even if you're at the top of your game, locally, here, whatever, you must never, ever let your success get in the way of your potential, right? Never let your success get in the way of your potential. And sometimes in order to unleash that potential, you have to step outside your comfort zone. And a great way to do that is to say yes to something you may otherwise say no to. So I'll quite often find myself looking for some reason. I'll see a gig and I'll see for whatever reason it makes sense. I like maybe what the person's asked me to do, or the brief is different, or the content feels kind of cool and fresh. And so for those gigs, I'll say yes. And then something kicks in, a magical thing we talk about at EO, an entrepreneurs organization, all the time, and that is the law of unintended consequences. When I chat to people, the big break came from a surprise. It came from something they didn't intend. Sure, I buy a lot about Eric Kruger's accretion principle, lots and lots of small little things building a foundation. But Eric puts lots of small free things out there, and he's managed to build a monster out of that. Right? It's not always about getting things in return, and so we have to be aware of that. I mean, last year, a guy called Mark Sham, he asked me if I wouldn't mind speaking at an event of his, and we didn't know each other, and it was an event called Suits and Sneakers. I looked it up, it looked like a really cool thing. I knew several other speakers had spoken there. And at first I wasn't sure, but then I thought, okay, this sounds good. So I said yes. I was going through a pretty personal struggle at the time, trying to figure out, should I step down from Missing Link, from running it day to day or not, and focus on Leader Speak, the new business. Now, it was a kind of talk that I never otherwise write. I don't do this motivational, you can do it kind of stuff. But this talk had a bit of that in it. And it just so happened I put it out there. It kind of saying it convinced me. It made me take the leap. I resigned almost a year ago next month from Missing Link. I've been focusing on other things. So it's been amazing for me. But then just like a month ago, this little guy got an email from somebody on LinkedIn saying, hey, we found one of your talks. We'd like to maybe use it. And I said, cool. I don't mind, that sounds good. I didn't think much of it. And then last night, this company called Goalcast released a video that when I woke up this morning, my inbox was just full of lots of things, and it had been viewed, I don't know, a couple of 100,000 times. As of this afternoon, I think it's just short of 1 million views now, and an opportunity will arise from that. And it only happened because I was willing to say yes strategically. And that's what I want to suggest you do. I want you to understand that you have to say no to a lot of these things, and there'll be 100 people asking you for free things, free work, free videoing, free this, free that. Can you shop at this? Can you MC a wedding? Can you do these things? All of those crazy things you're going to be asked for. But just occasionally, you got to give yourself like a yes, a handful of yeses. And you're going to spend those yeses, those 5 yeses throughout the year, 5, 10 maybe, that you're going to say, I'm going to spend one of my 5 yeses on something that I wouldn't normally do, that I wouldn't normally say yes to. And then I want you just to, once you've agreed to do it, think nothing else of it, think nothing else of payment, of reciprocity, anything, and then sit back and wait for the law of unintended consequences. Because let me tell you, the world is a crazy place and beautiful shit happens all the time. So say yes. Peace.
Hey guys, it's Tay from Missing Link. Did you like that video? you need to watch some more. In order to do so, hit subscribe and you'll get the notifications. Thanks.